Beachbody create a P90X iPhone app?
P90X iPhone app? I don't know. Is
What
there
is
a P90X? Well, I will say that yes, we did. Interesting story. So, apps people have been wanting apps. Where's an app? We need an app forever. And personally, I never felt that watching workout DVD on a phone, sort of holding it up while you're watching the workouts, was a good way for us to express what we do. Just a video in your handheld there, but we had an idea. I was actually in a meeting and a guy was like, I'd love to do P90X, but if I could do it outside, because I work at my desk all day long. So what you guys need to do is come up with a way that I can do P90X outside. And that was like, ting. And I thought, now that is a great way. That's a great thing for an app. So we actually shot this, and if you see the workouts, there is a P90X app, by the way, to answer the question. That when you see the workouts, we have Tony on a white background. I think Tony and Drea. So it's on a white background to make it really easy, regardless of what environment you're in, so that you can get the move, you get it, you can scroll around, you can look at it, and understand it. You really go into depth, even more depth, frankly, than the DVDs. So you can understand what is the body position, how wide are their arms, how wide are their feet if they're doing a push-up, all that kind of stuff. And then you put it down, and you do the move, and it times you out just like it would do on the DVD, and it beeps at you when it's done. You pick it up, you look at the next move, you get it, and blah, blah, blah. But it works. They're on a white background so that you could see it in the bright sunlight. You could take it to the beach, take your resistance bands to the beach. Most of us work all day long, inside, all the time. Wouldn't it be great to get your workout outside? Well, now you can take P90X and all the workouts, or just the workouts that you want to do outside or in the gym, and you can take it on the road with you. Or you can just buy the tracking app. The base application on iTunes is just the tracking app. So you're tracking your workout. You know how you can write in what your data is, write in what your... By the way, how many people are on this thing right now?
593.
593? Tony had 1,800 people on his.
It's early. Still early.
Really?
We're only 20 minutes in.
All right, I'm going to say some really exciting stuff in 10 minutes. So I need some numbers here, Tony Horton.
He also did many impersonations in the process.
Go ahead. Go ahead, ask me for an impersonation. I'll do an impersonation.
The first one was requested was Arnold.
Arnold? That's obvious, though. No, give me I want a good one. Not from you. You don't come up with it. That's the people who get that.
Oh, impersonate Tony is the first one.
That is so good. Okay. All right. Wait. I have to think about that. Let me finish my iPhone app thing. So, Tony. Oh, that's going to be good.
I got a Shalene.
Does anybody have a mirror? While you're watching it, you can see it outside. But the tracking app lets you put in your measurements, lets you put in your weights that you're using, on the presumption that people are going to want to put in their data at the gym. So some people were like, why didn't you make it easier to use resistance bands? Again, this was so that people could take it to the gym, take it on the go. Most of the time they're taking it on the go to the gym or in a hotel. You can input the data in terms of rating your workout with the bands, but in any case, the app is there. And by the way, I don't know if you guys heard, it's the #2 top grossing app in iTunes. That's pretty cool. My mom's proud.
Any other apps in the future?
Yes. In fact, we just went through a reprioritization of things and looked at what we were doing we have so many requests on the tech team. These guys work so hard. We had to put a ping pong table and a foosball table just to keep those guys happy from staging a palace coup. So, and they've got a Wii. They've got all this stuff. It's like Disneyland downstairs. These guys, ladies and gentlemen, are working hard to make everything run smooth, make everything. I mean, if you looked at the way the Team Beachbody, the Super Gym worked on 11.1, not so good, versus 11.11 with 10 or over 11,000, almost 12,000 workouts in one day. It worked so smooth, and that's what happens in 10 days. They improved everything. So we cleared the way. We cleared some projects out that were a little bit lower in priority so that we could come up with some new apps. And I can't tell you what those apps are. but we understand the need for coaches, for signing people up, for tracking other workouts, for doing other workouts, and we will continue to develop this and learn, frankly, from what we did with P90X. Same thing with understanding how to articulate the P90X iPhone app over to Droid. And that's a project that we have in the pipeline, but we needed to see. These things are not inexpensive to do, and they take a lot of resources, so we needed to see what happened with this app before we went with that app. So that's where we stand right now, and now we're assessing it and seeing, okay, how fast can we get moving on everything else we want to do.
So request for Tony, Shalene, and a British accent thus far.
I could do all of them at once. Okay, all right, okay.
Multiple personalities.
All right. Right. This is Tony. That's Tony doing his rabbit. And then they're like, I remember one time we were shooting Power Half Hour, and there was one phrase that he could not say. Oh, I know. We had it was a blooper. We asked him the question, like, off camera, "Hey Tony, how'd you get such great abs?" And his line was, "It's easier than you think." And it must have taken us 15 minutes. I mean, he could not do it. So that was my Tony impersonation. My Shalene impersonation is, okay. Hey, Beachbody. Shalene Johnson here. And unless I'm working out, I'm never wearing heels less than 17 inches high. Please, I want you to achieve all your goals, including wearing 17 high heels. And you can find out in my new book, Push. And actually, it is a good book. And you should get the book, Push. It's available for download now. And I think I don't know if it's still available. Is it still that if you download the book, you pay for the download and get a bunch of other extra interactive things with it, and then she'll give you a hard copy free. I don't know how long she's doing that, but that's pretty cool. She's giving away hard copies of her book. I've never heard of an author do that. That's really cool. So anyway, that was my little Shalene impression. I really didn't prepare, though.
We'll work on that for next time. Absolutely.
I'll do the rest of the entire chat with an English accent. No, I won't. Yes, right.
Indeed. What are the most challenging aspects you have in your day-to-day operations as CEO of the greatest company in the world?
Well, CEO. Probably the most challenging thing is actually being CEO. I'm a product development guy. I love coming up with ideas. I love brainstorming sales tactics and ways to turn a phrase to help describe what we do. But then it's like, human resources stuff, and we need to look at the health benefits plan and the what do they call it, 401k. Can we review the 401ks? It's just, that hurt. I think I left a mark. That stuff is just brutal. So it's the guys who are professional CEOs, I have a lot of respect for them. It's easy to be creative. That's what I like to do. And it's fun to generate enthusiasm. Some days I think, like anybody, especially Monday mornings and it seems like kind of midday Wednesdays, I have to find a way to reinvigorate, refocus, sort of climb back on the horse and say, here's why we're pushing so hard. Here's why we want to do this. Here's why I can't sit back and we've got to make some hard decisions here. So just like anybody else, I'm always looking for motivation, ways to self-motivate, and that seems to happen on Mondays and Wednesdays. But I kind of like doing that. And that's when you'll see me, I think on Mondays and Wednesdays is when I probably tweet the most. That's because that's what I'm doing. Oh, winners of the 11/11 contest, that's on my blog, baby. It's all there. So just go to the blog, carldaikeler.com. www.carldaikeler.com, and it's probably 2 posts ago. But all the winners are listed there. All five of them were coaches, by the way. Congratulations, $1,111 just for working out. That's pretty cool. Will Beachbody ever go public? That's classified. I don't know. We're in a funny business that. It's a little bit of a hits business, and it's not easy for a hits business to go public because, if you look at the way our year goes, in general, it's huge. The first 20 or the first 18 weeks of the year, and then it's like sort of a slow melting ice cream sundae, low sugar through the rest of the year. It just gets lower and slower and slower as the year goes. That's not a public company needs to sort of have a good, since everything's measured in quarters, you want the quarters to sort of be consistent. And so we're not the ideal company to go public, and it's also something that I am always a little bit wary of ceding control over to Wall Street, where if you do things the wrong way, people can start to impose pressures on you that are not necessarily in the best interest of your customers or the best interest of what the company is about and the mission. And I hold our mission to help people achieve their goals, to lead healthy, fulfilling lives, very dear to my heart. That's what interests me. Pleasing Wall Street is not a desire that I have, and that would be a depressing Monday morning for me if that's what my goal had to be. But that doesn't mean that we can't look at strategies to open up what Beachbody does or be more strategic about how we grow the business, including opportunities like that or bringing in strategic investors or that kind of thing that might open up what we can do. So we're open to anything, not close to it, but I can't see that we're an IPO waiting to happen because we want to make sure that everything we do is with the representations that we've made to customers, coaches, employees, and other shareholders, and my family, quite frankly, in terms of who I'm going to be. I consider this company to be an extension of me in many ways, and so I want to maintain that. And so here's what I will say. The best answer is whatever we do, because all options are open, we'll do it in a way that maintains the integrity of what we've done, and that's my promise.
Are there any new Shaun T workouts on the horizon?
Yes, we are finishing production of some new Asylum workouts that will come out, I think maybe February or March. I think so, because we're working on an Asylum infomercial. So we needed a few more videos to complement that infomercial. and I think the way the timeline is, we have so much in production. There's so much demand for our production resources that it's going to take us till February, March for them to come out. And of course, Shaun can't be stopped. He's got tons of ideas. I get emails all the time. And he's working with the New York team to come up with ideas and new ways to excite people and get them working out and make it even harder than it's been or attack a different concept. So he's got stuff up his sleeve, I promise.
Have you ever considered a Discovery Channel documentary following someone through one of our programs, as in like swamp loggers or pond dockers?
Yeah. That's a good question. Yes. If the original making of P90X was actually produced, we had Ned Farr, who was in the Power 90 test group and became a good friend. He actually followed the entire making of P90X, and then the original test group, he tracked that progress day to day and did these great episodic updates, and we put it out there trying to pitch it as a reality show, and we didn't get any traction on that. Everybody's like, oh, that's just an infomercial hidden in the concept of a reality TV show. Then when we created Insanity, we actually followed that the same exact way, where we followed Sean T in the Insanity group, and each week we kind of did it like Survivor. We had Sean T, and he would go in with a couple of these big bodyguard guys, and they would kick somebody out. It was like, you're not digging deep enough, and we'd kick somebody out. And we pitched that around, and that didn't really get any traction either. Again, people were like, you're just an infomercial company. But I will say that we had a news feature on KNBC here in LA last week, and the ratings came in for that, and we added something like 70% to the ratings when the story about P90X and Beachbody was on the air. And that's in the middle of, I believe it's sweeps right now, which is when they measure local news ratings. And that is actually kind of big news. So we're hoping we might be able to use that and tell people that there's some interest in this brand, P90X, and actually the inner workings of Beachbody. So who knows? Maybe there'll be something on TV about us, or maybe not. But I think there's a story there. I think there's something that could entertain people and inspire them and tell the story of what it takes to get in real shape, what kind of sacrifice that takes, the fact that we don't pull any punches, there's no gimmicks here, and also the fact that when you put it together and help people get healthy, when you put it together and get yourself healthy and fit, that then you can turn that into a way to make money for yourself too. And there's enough people out there who are looking for income or a second income without a second job that would need that information, that there's got to be some programming there. So feel free, any network executives, to call Beachbody, and we will pitch you.
I'm going to read you a list of possible products to consider.
Okay.
You can say,
well, wait,
yay or nay. Soccer training videos.
Okay, I'm going to stop you. No. There's a reason I'm going to stop you. Just because there's a protocol to this, and I don't want to break protocol even for this, because, and it's important that people understand, I actually cannot hear ideas directly, because what if we had a soccer video in development right now, right? A soccer training video. Or let's use another one. Let's say somebody said, I would like a Tai Chi program that'd be great for seniors or kids or whatever. And let's say they pitched that to me at an event. And I was like, hey, that's a good idea, And then we have one that comes out. And then all of a sudden I get contacted by the lawyers that say, hey, this guy was at a coach event and he told you these ideas and you stole his ideas. So we never want to be in a position of lifting somebody's ideas. So if you go to the About Us section of the Team Beachbody website, you can see that there's a product submission link, and you fill out this stuff and it goes through legal, and legal makes sure that there's nothing in there that is derivative or that is possibly in conflict with something that we're currently contemplating. And I looked at on a weekly basis. I go through the whole list, and we see what is a reasonable thing to talk about developing and what is not something that we'll put on the front burner. But it's actually why, I get a lot of people, they slip me notes and they'll say, hey, why don't you do this yoga thing or a Pilates thing or whatever. We look at everything. I mean, literally, I have got stacks and stacks of ideas that I've had, that Isabel, who used to be a professional coach and track coach, and ideas that she has, and we're constantly talking about things. So there's probably nothing that you could say on that list that we're not thinking about that I can't answer right now, but I also don't want any ideas lofted in from somebody who's like, I want to pitch you that soccer video. Okay, long answer to that. Sorry.
Crossing out
that one.
The list.
Sorry. Did we just drop down to 200 people?
821.
821?
We're doing good.
I just need 1,000 more people.
Will I be able to buy additional medicine balls, plyometric boxes, and a weighted bar when X2 releases?
Of course. Yes. You can buy anything you want.
On our website.
Yeah. Can I lean forward, Keith? I'm still okay with this thing? Because I can't see myself. All right, cool. Yeah, you should be able to order. We should have all the accessories up. I'm pretty sure. But I'll check on that. Let me make a note.
I can actually help you answer that.
Oh, will we?
Medicine balls, we will have an infinite amount. We are not selling plyometric boxes presently.
Okay.
And the weighted bar only occurs in one workout, so
the
we're
weighted
not
bar.
selling it presently.
I see. Yeah, We're probably going to change that, though. So while that might be the answer now, we're going to change it. But at the end of the day, plyometric boxes, we don't. I'm surprised about that because I thought we were putting them in.
I think it's a shipping issue, but
Yeah.
maybe that's changed. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I put a little
I've been
pressure
wrong.
on. 'Cause I wanted to have everything that you possibly see on there, except for the lockers in the background, available. So we'll look into it. Thanks for the question.
Could have Tony delivered to your door as well. Any possibility about ever getting Shakeology covered by insurance?
Okay, good question. We have very active dialogue and lobbyists that we're dealing with how reimbursement is handled through the insurance companies and deductibility of health and fitness products. And let me say two things. One, we have investigated and found no evidence with any Blue Cross or any of the health insurance companies that they are actually reimbursing for supposed other health shakes. Because we were like, well, wait a minute, we're hearing that about other companies. Why can't we do that? And we actually are in active conversations with major health insurance companies and others to make this a benefit that people could, in exchange for helping take better care of their health, actually get a deduction or tax credit or possibly reimbursement from their health insurance company. But as far as we know right now, while there are rumors that other companies and their shakes are reimbursable, we have not found any evidence that we could replicate that. We have pretty good contacts. So, but we are working on it. It would be great. It's something that we think should be. I mean, if you can get bariatric surgery covered by health insurance, if you can get your diabetes medication covered by health insurance, you should be able to get your health and fitness prevention covered by health insurance, or at least it should be deductible, or you should get a tax credit for it, because we have a healthcare problem in this country, and it's something every time we talk to a legislator about, or have any kind of audience with government or lobbyists, we make sure that they understand what our position is on this kind of topic.
How about the possibility of Shakeology being kosher?
Yes, that is what's difficult about that. I'm not perfect one. Bill would be better to answer this, but because of the number of ingredients in Shakeology, my understanding is that no, it is virtually impossible for us to make Shakeology kosher because of the nature of the sourcing of the ingredients, because they don't come from commercial farms and they don't all come from one source, meaning we're getting these all 70 plus ingredients from disparate different sources from Peru. It's the same kind of reason that it's not stamped organic, because it costs money to get something certified organic, even if you are doing everything organic or better than organic or better than kosher, for instance, or certainly conforming to it without certain procedures that cost money that you would have to do on all 70 of those ingredients, you can't get the stamp. So while we stand behind the product and it quote unquote being kosher, it hasn't gone through the process, hasn't been blessed, and hasn't gone through certain aspects of the protocol. So we looked at it. Shakeology is not an inexpensive product, and we're sensitive to that with people. So rather than try to get the K on the bag, we had to let that go in order to deal with the pricing issues and not make it less affordable for people to take advantage of this great product.
Any possibility of a new cookbook on the horizon?
I suppose.
It's a possibility for everything.
Yeah, we'll go into some detail. There's actually some pretty exciting stuff coming out. We haven't talked a lot about the cleanse program that we have coming out. We're going to really go into detail on that in January 7th in the Super Saturday. But there's a cooking protocol with that if you wanted to find out how to make healthy cooking viable for you and take it, you know me, you know my whole story and how poorly I eat, and I've tried these recipes and actually can eat them. and they're vegetables. That's tough. So, and it's just, when you have a good chef who shows you how to do this stuff, then it's possible to eat healthy. And we're going to show you that in the Beachbody Ultimate Reset program, which is coming out in the first quarter. And we'll talk more about that January 7th. Otherwise, cookbooks, nothing, there's no cookbook per se, nothing like that really.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about what is coming up next? Anything you want to talk about?
What can I talk about that I haven't talked about that would make it worth it? For how many people do we have?
883.
If I had 1,000 people, I would
All your
give
friends.
a secret. What could I say? There is one program that you want to know about that is super cool, but I don't think you've earned it. I'm sitting here at half of the numbers, not even half the numbers that Tony Horton has, and no, I think some people would be angry with me if I said anything about a new program. But let's say, Keith, let's make a deal that the next chat I'm on will drop some new product bombs in there, okay? You know which one I'm talking about, probably. Okay, so no, sorry. Not that I... No, can't
not
do
happening?
it. No, not right. Not at this time. Let me talk to my attorney. No.
Do you see a reshoot of Power 90 ever?
Yes. Okay, there's a little gimme. We actually, a year ago, designed around... Power 90 is one of my favorite programs, if not my favorite. It's just so simple to follow for ongoing fitness. So whenever I'm sort of working out or on the road, I really go right back to the Sculpt routines for how to order things and get a great half-hour workout in. But there was certain things about the program that we wanted to improve on, so we're actually talking to Tony right now about a Power 90 reshoot sometime in 2012 and redoing the infomercials for that. And it's pretty exciting what we put together. We've had the program in place with some improvements to make it a little bit easier to follow and tighten up the workouts a little bit. So yes, that is in the plans for 2012. Let me remind myself. Shoot Power 90 next year. Okay, got it.
Very nice. Okay, I have a few personal questions for you.
Okay. My zipper down.
Favorite sport?
Water skiing, without a doubt. I've been doing it since I was 6 and absolutely love it. That is about when I'm happiest, when I'm standing on a slalom ski or standing on my own 2 feet on top of the water. Second favorite is surfing or stand-up paddleboarding. And it's interesting. I lived in California now for almost 15 years, and it wasn't until I lived closer to the water that I finally got out there. And it's just spectacular because you can't have a phone with you. You're nowhere near Wi-Fi. It's just you and salt water and some fish that could eat you. But it is just awesome surviving the elements, trying to stay away from rocks. It's all-consuming. That's a good break. And I like to run a little bit. I love to swim. I'm a water person, I guess.
And do Beachbody products.
Yeah, I do Beachbody products. It's kind of tough, actually, for me to do Beachbody products. I do them, but I don't because I'm. First off, it's kind of like watching your own movies in a way, because you see the flaws, you see the things that you wish had changed. So I'm in work mode when I'm doing our workouts. So it's actually easier for me when I do a video workout or something. And remember, I'm married to a former celebrity trainer, so she's constantly giving me programs, things she wants me to try. And I'm working on new things that we are considering doing. Like I was trying Tai Chi moves out, and I was trying functional fitness out. That is what Insanity turned into. To really understand, is this something that can be articulated in a video? So I'm always experimenting. For instance, I've tried a bunch of yoga programs to try to figure out how can you translate yoga to video when the best yoga, if you take yoga in person, And yoga is fantastic, but it's not easy to cue it in a way that everything is right, the way it's supposed to be done. Same thing with Pilates. So like I'll experiment, try videos that we get submitted from people and see if do they get it right. And in general, it's been hard to put together. So yeah, I do some of our programs. Every once in a while, I'll put Insanity, Turbo Fire, Asylum, P90X, Power 90, 10-Minute Trainer. Love those programs. And otherwise, I'm trying new stuff.
Other hobbies besides exercise?
Yeah, no, not really.
Less time.
No, I mean, I spend a lot. I really work a lot. Don't have a lot of friends. You're my best friend. But it's kind of true. So, I got a 3-year-old. He wants attention, and I need to be present for him. And it'll be fun when he's a little bit older, and then we can do the surfing and bike riding or whatever. We can do that together. I am a bit of a theater fan. You might not know this, but my family grew up owning a theater outside of Philadelphia called the Bucks County Playhouse, where I was cast in Sound of Music. I was Friedrich.
Wow.
Yeah, and didn't really enjoy being in the shows. But then one day my dad said, Carl, how would you like to run the concession stand and the parking lot and the box office? Then I found my true love. Used to love to count the money. And and do the tech and the lights and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I have a musical theater background. So when and Ava, my 11-year-old, she loves musical theater. So she and I go to New York from time to time, and we'll go see a show. In fact, I just saw Godspell, thanks to some internal contacts that we have. Saw Godspell, which just opened up last week on Broadway. And that is an amazing show. I would highly recommend it. It's like personal development. And so that was a good time. So I enjoy theater if I can get to it.
We're up to 976, by the way.
Wow!
Greenberry or chocolate?
Chocolate, without a doubt. But I do think tropical will beat out chocolate when it comes out. I do like greenberry. I like greenberries. For me to do the greenberry, I make it pretty sweet. So that's greenberry.
Greenberry. Last personal question.
Briefs.
Cats or dogs?
Oh.
Let me get to
Cats or dogs? That's a good question. Did you say good to know?
Sorry.
I don't have a preference. I think all animals are terrific. Don't have any animals at the house. Isabel is super allergic. We had a dog for a week, and that did not go well. Actually, we had a dog for 36 hours, and she just was a poodle and super little guy, and he had to go. So we found a good home for him. But I grew up with cats and dogs and all of them, and it was great. But I'm more of a people person and computers.
Off the personal questions.
Okay. I enjoyed those the most.
Any thought of a daily radio show, like a Saturday morning radio show that happened weekly?
Yes and no. I wanted to do actually a weekly TV show that would be a either on the web TV show or on like DirecTV or one of these cable channels where we would talk about the coaching business, take calls, just haven't found the outlet for it or traction on it. Same thing with radio. I've heard some fitness and weight loss programming. I haven't found it that compelling, really. It's sort of the same question over and over again. Frankly, that's one of the reasons I think that our fitness DVDs do so well, is that it's really no mystery how to get in shape, how to eat better. Like, all that information is available. Like, it's available. So we don't need a new book. We don't need all this new input. What we need to do is find a way to do it, how to get traction for yourself to do it. So perhaps a radio show or a TV show that was helping people inspire other people or be inspired, or to help people figure out how to work the business. That could be something. So we always look at it, but nothing on the horizon.
You are 999 people.
Oh, who's going to be the 1,000th?
Come on.
Can you count who it is? Can you tell who's going to be the 1,000th?
1001.
So do you know who the 1,000th was?
No.
Thank you,
We're not
1,000th.
I think that means you're supposed to drop the bomb on.
No.
No, not happening.
Drop the bomb on the new product?
Or something.
No, I can't do it. They'll be too angry with me.
Somebody commented when you said that previously that you're the CEO. What are they going to do?
Huh?
They're saying, who's going to be angry at you? You're the CEO. What are they going to do?
Yeah, that's true. I had a job interview last week. A guy came in, nice guy, super guy, came walking in. Our core mission, right, is help people achieve their goals to lead healthy, fulfilling lives. That's not just customers. That's not just coaches. That's also includes the dudes, as we call them, or staff and management, everybody. Help them achieve their goals to lead healthy, fulfilling lives. So this guy comes in, and I said, hey, nice to meet you. Any questions for me before we start this interview? And he said, yeah, actually, he goes, I've been talking to some people about different jobs. What job do you have in mind for me? I said, you know what? Before I answer that, let me ask you, because this is our core mission, help people achieve their goals, lead healthy, fulfilling lives. What would you like to do? And he said, well, I've looked around here. I think this is an awesome place. Well, I love what you've created here, so I want your job. And I was like, well, that's not available. But what you're saying is you want to be CEO of your own company, your own health and fitness company. Well, you could be a coach. Or if what you're saying is you want to build something like this or build your own company, start your own thing, why don't we stop this interview right now, shake hands, send me an email with a resume, and I'll send your resume around to a couple people and see if there's anybody looking for a CEO. And that was it. 7-minute interview. It was awesome.
And
he left.
Wow.
He's a nice guy, and it was smart. Why waste time? We don't want to waste any time.
Because you're not giving up your job.
No, I'm not giving up my job.
Can coaches become employees?
Sure, yeah. And employees can become coaches, but never the two shall meet.
So they have to quit one or the other.
Yes.
Should they?
Yeah.
That was the question.
Yeah, because we don't. There's a lot of opportunity for employees to get special treatment. They know what products are coming out early. They know promotions that we're working on, so they would have the ability to feather their bed, and that's not fair. So we want it to be an even playing field, so we wanted. I actually wanted to be a coach, and I asked Jonathan in legal. Probably on a quarterly basis. Why can't I be a coach again? Because I'd like to experience what you're experiencing as a coach, so that some of the improvements, so I can I can create things from your perspective. But he always says, Carl, because you'll have an unfair advantage, because I know first what products are coming. So, no.
Someone has asked very extensively, is there a new 10-minute trainer infomercial coming out anytime soon?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I think today we're shooting the testimonials for a new 10-minute trainer infomercial. There's the big news. I was not supposed to say that. Oh my God, I'm in such trouble. We're constantly testing configurations of 10-minute trainer so that we truly get it across. 10-minute trainer is a tough sell because people think 10 minutes, how good of a workout can that be? This is a gimmick. Until they do it and they see that we take that 10 minutes very seriously. That's why I love the program. That's why I love those workouts. So we're constantly shuffling it up and testing new creative and new ways, like I said, to turn a phrase and to position the product so we see what gets the response. So you'll see new versions coming out. We just had one test this weekend, which actually did pretty well. But we have a whole new show coming out. I want to say March or April, I think.
Any possibility of a chain of Beachbody restaurants?
That's such a good idea. No, that would be good. I would love to do that, but I mean, sure, but I don't have it in the process. There's a lot of things that we think about and brainstorm in terms of how Beachbody could help with food supply, making it simple for people to get food, make it easier for them to prepare food. There's some really creative ideas that we're working on and brainstorming on. Nothing actively in development right now. I was actually sitting on a plane with a guy who runs a big restaurant chain, and we talked about P90X or Beachbody approved food on the menu. And that's a conversation we continue to have, but then I have to be careful. Does that conflict with coaches at all, or Shakeology? So it's kind of something you have to be careful with. But yes, we are very eager to have Beachbody play a bigger role in in helping people get control of or understand how to eat. But we're not breaking ground on any restaurants anytime soon. The Beachbody drive-through, that'd be cool.
It is 3:00 on the dot. There's many people who have said they love the new format. This is fantastic. Thank you so much for doing it this way, so they love it. Anything else you'd like to say?
Why, am I supposed to stop?
Well, can we keep going?
I don't know. Let me see. Go ahead and ask me another question, and I'll just stop.
Can coaches or employees create swag?
What is swag?
Free stuff.
Can coaches create
swag? If you were
swag?
to work for Discovery, for instance, they would hand out, free Discovery T-shirts.
Oh, I see.
Stuff.
It's 3. Yeah, I can keep going.
Great.
I think people already do. In general, you want to check with compliance and check with the legal team, to make sure that what you're doing is okay. But at the end of the day, look, here's what it comes down to, and here's what it comes down to with legal, is that we have to control and be very careful with how the brands, how the trademarks and the logos are used out there, so that if we give one guy the ability to use it in one way, we have to let that's evidence that we were okay with that, so then somebody else could use it for their own purposes, even if it wasn't necessarily for our own good, right? So hey, we let that guy put P90X on his T-shirt, so we should let that guy be able to put P90X sucks on his T-shirt, or whatever. So hey, free speech, right? But so we do have to be careful about it. But at the end of the day, what we want to do is get the word out there. We want to show people that we believe in what we're promoting, and we want to inspire people. So in general, we lean towards wanting to allow people to do more with the brands than less, because who cares? At the end of the day, the hard thing is getting people in shape and getting them to work out consistently and eat right consistently and step up for themselves and stop shortcutting themselves with these meal replacements that just aren't good for them. Isabel said the other day, she's like, wouldn't it be great if mankind stopped destroying itself? I was like, huh? What, honey?
What?
Honey, I'm watching Harry Potter. But she said, like for years and years, from wars and aggression and territory, mankind destroying itself, mankind destroying the earth. And then she said, but even in a microcosm, that mankind has put profit and building a business and generating an income over taking care of mankind. A little bit of gasoline at the end of the formulation is okay if it helps the margins. Little sweet treat to keep the kids under control. What's wrong with another cupcake party on a Friday? Just instead of thinking, how can we serve each other? How can we help each other get healthy? How can we enhance each other's lives? And was there a question that I was answering just then? I don't know how I got on that rant. No, really, what was I just talking about? Swag. So the point is, now I remember, that what we want to do is try to inspire people to do this thing that's really not easy. The reason we have this trend of obesity is we have gotten into the habit of taking care of everything else. Our need to make a living, we've taken care of our desire to be gratified and entertained, we've taken care of our need to to have a roof over our heads, but we haven't taken care of the need for us to literally survive and elongate life and to live a healthier lifestyle, to enhance our lives more. And that's what our job is. So when it comes down to swag, I think the legal team will be fairly compliant and supportive if it's helping us with that end goal of truly turning things around where people are caring about each other, taking care of each other, being honest with each other, and supporting each other to get healthy. That's the end of that speech.
That's fantastic.
I hope so.
Shakeology and pregnancy.
I'm in favor of both. No, Shakeology will not get you pregnant.
Will help you avoid it.
Yeah, we're not a drug company. So so the question, Shakeology and pregnancy, Shakeology and kids, Shakeology and diseases, Shakeology and nursing moms. These are the kind of things that drug companies have to test for, okay? And because they are prescribed that way, and or they have to put a whole bunch of warnings. Shakeology is a food, right? It's not a drug. So while it's potent from a nutritional standpoint, it's not something that we can say it's good for pregnant moms, it's bad for pregnant moms. It's a food. So I know that Isabel who's the most picky when it comes to taking care of her health of anybody that I know. She drank it when she was pregnant with Danny, and she drank it when she was nursing Daniel. But she also is so aware of the implications of Shakeology with people who might be on blood thinners. I think there's some thing there. Like, people have to be aware of their own situation. So I can't give a blank check to people that says, go ahead and do it. It's the kind of thing you talk to your doctor, be picky about your doctor. Don't just accept any doctor. Have a great doctor. Somebody, some doctors got C's, some doctors got D's, but they still got to be doctors. Some doctors got B's and A's. I personally, where do I spend my money without caring? What do I not negotiate? I don't negotiate about the health care that I or my family that we get. So I find I'm really picky about people, and I look and I ask the best doctor that I can find for advice on who the next best doctor. If I have a great dentist, I ask them who's a great orthodontist, because great people know great people, right? So if you're pregnant, make sure you have a great obstetrician, they call it, or pediatrician, both, and ask their advice and show them the panel. And if they have a blank stare, I don't think they're the ones to ask. Find somebody else who's good to ask, that you believe, that you trust their opinion. So that's a little wishy-washy advice, but at the end of the day, I think Shakeology is food, not a drug, and should be treated as such.
Same response for children, Shakeology?
Yeah, Isabel had a great quote. She said it at the leadership event. I love it. Somebody had asked, hey, is Shakeology okay for me to give to my kids? And she started talking. She's like, well, there's adaptogens in there which can have can do some regulating of the adrenal system and the hormonal system. So you need to be careful. And then she stops herself and she goes, in her cute little French accent, she goes, wait a minute, you'll take your kids to the McDonald's drive-thru and get them a Happy Meal, and we're talking about Shakeology? Come on, man. So I guess it's okay. And we give it to, I had my Shakeology this morning with Daniel, who's 3, and this is a 3-year-old who will literally walk down the aisle, because he's trained by his mother, and point at the cereals and go, that one's got gluten, mama. That one's got too much sugar, mama. And the other moms look at him and are like, that kid's a freak. But so
It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
How can they help avoid online piracy of our products?
We just got a legal update today, and I found out that they've shut down something like 170,000, or maybe no, more like 650,000 BitTorrents of our programs. Our legal team is all over this. We are as aggressive as any movie studio. In fact, the movie studios come to us in some cases, approach us to ask us how we fight piracy. We have put people in jail. There's a factory owner in China who's been in jail for 6 months and 17 days because we shut their piracy ring down. We confiscate we confiscated 15,000 pirated units of P90X the other day and sent that guy to jail. So we're on it. We are on it big time. It's and actually we need to put something on the DVDs to tell people what their piracy, when they think it's innocent, to make a copy of one of these DVDs or to put it up for download. They don't know what they're doing because they're absolutely undermining our ability to have more bandwidth, to hire more people so that we can produce more programs, come up with new ideas and test those new ideas, because there's millions of dollars that could be going into our R&D efforts, going out to these pirates and BitTorrent sites. So it's really a disservice. That's just the nature of the beast, though. You make something famous, and then there's going to be people who think that it's okay to steal from you, and we just have to fight it every day.
You'll like this one. Your favorite book for personal development.
Oh, that changes, though, all the time.
What is it today?
For personal development. Linchpin by Seth Godin is pretty good, although at about the second third, first third's really good, second third's a little boring, final third got good again. So I don't know, maybe a personal issue, but that was really good in terms of inspiring you and reminding, like, yeah, I'm not going to take some full-time job. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to make something. I'm going to deliver my art. That was really a good book. I personally loved Influencer. I think that's by Patterson. Not everybody shares my opinion on that. That just helped me organize my thoughts in terms of the way I approach the business as a CEO. I think it could be very helpful, especially, and I hope you are, building a Beachbody Challenge group. Because if you want to understand how Beachbody Challenge groups should work and can work, read Influencer. Great book. Think and Grow Rich. I read the first 3/4 of that once or twice a year. I kind of always am reading through that. The last quarter of that is not my favorite, but the first 3/4 really, really helped me stay focused. There's a great book, talking about personal development, there's a great book called Power versus Force. I think it's David Hawkins. That starts to get a little bit metaphysical, but it's also really cool to see sort of the journey that a guy goes through in his personal development. So that's off the beaten path, but an incredible book. So those are my book tips in Carl's Book Club. Thanks for joining us. A couple more.
1,200 people.
I can't stop now. Man, this is
We're
just growing.
We're gonna get it. This is
You
fantastic.
think?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're staying on.
We're staying on. Takes us all day.
Okay.
Cancel his meetings.
Yes.
Why did we change the push-up stance, power stance?
We changed the push-up stance for a couple reasons. One, to get the costs in line so that we could include them in the Team Beachbody system, because those metal ones were exceptionally expensive. The metal ones were also, we try to be eco-friendly whenever possible, and the prior design of the stands was not eco-friendly at all. It was very difficult to ship, cost a lot to ship, used a lot of raw materials, took a lot of electricity to build, and the current versions are much more eco-conscious.
Great. How does one become an employee for Beachbody?
I would also say, by the way, on the power stands, that the design is a little bit lower, and the effectiveness of the workouts, meaning you get, the other stands were a little bit higher, and these came up a little bit lower, so you're getting more leverage, more weight on top of the stand. So I personally prefer that.
How does one become an employee for Beachbody?
Is it beachbodycareers.com?
I think it is.
Yeah. So there's a website, Beachbody Careers, or you can search it or send an email to Trevor at concierge@beachbody.com. What is there? There's nobody behind me doing this. You can go to, you can send an email to concierge@beachbody.com, and he'll give you the link. But I think it's beachbodycareers.com, and I think we've added, I found like 175 or 190 people in the last year, And there's quite a few more positions open. We're looking for good people and people who share the mission.
How would you feel about someone opening a Shakeology bar?
I think it's a cool idea. That's more of a compliance question. There's some nuance there, but I think there already are Shakeology bars. I think there's a store in Philadelphia that does it. I think there's a place, shake place. There's gyms that serve the shake, and they charge like $8 for a serving. That's so yeah, it's happening out there. I don't know about branding the bar, the Shakeology bar. I don't think that would be okay. But again, that's a question for compliance. Compliance at beachbody.com, and they'll give you that advice.
The typical question of doing one of our products for quite some time and not able to lose weight. What is your best advice?
All right. So I don't know if they hear. Do they hear her questions?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They can hear. Okay. So this is a great question for people who are frustrated because you try and you can't lose the weight. I have been there. Now look, I've never been obese, so I haven't experienced trying to lose 100 pounds or 50 pounds, but I was carrying 20, maybe 25 pounds when I did Power 90. And when I first started Power 90, it was not going that well. And I realized that two things were reality for me. One was I was not doing the workouts intense enough. I realized that if I was going to suit up and do those workouts, I need to truly bring it. And you've got to have intensity. Wear a heart rate monitor. You need to know, are you getting the benefits of the workout by truly working? You've got to find the balance between pleasure and pain, meaning you have to be pushing it far enough so that your body has to work to heal. And it's in that healing that you build your metabolism. It's when it rebuilds muscle that you are building your metabolism. And that means that you need to break the muscle down. That's where a lot of the calorie burning happens, frankly. The other area was I thought I was eating better, but I was not eating better. I was still eating too much bread. I was still having burgers. And I was still putting ketchup, and I was still having French fries, like all that stuff. And I finally realized I just really consciously started to write everything down that I was eating, and the weight just came off. But the other thing that we found, especially people who do these other shakes that aren't feeding them nutritionally, that are getting the appearance of nutrition by what's on the label, but not true nutrition, just because it says it slightly on the label doesn't mean it's in there at an efficacious level, that they can end up undermining, cutting their calories too far. That a meal is not 100 calories. A meal needs to be up in the 200, 250 range. You need to get 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, if you're working out, 1,500 to 1,800 calories a day. You got to measure it based on what your goals are. But if you undermine your metabolism, and if you've spent years of starving your body, it's like the old caveman days. The body is used to preserving fat, holding on to it as a survival mechanism when it suspects that there's a famine out there. So your cells, the way your internal organ works, your sort of lizard brain, as they call it, is in survival mode. Like, oh my God, there's no food coming in, hold on to the fat. And then food comes in, hold on to that. And then let's say you start to get it back in. You can go through a weight gain period while you teach your body that it's okay. That's why we say eat 5 times a day. You eat right when you wake up. Do not skip breakfast. I say this in the Beachbody Challenge video, that the 3 things that people who lose weight have in common. This is not my information. This is a statistic that I think the National Weight Loss Registry published, and that is people that lose 30 pounds and keep it off weigh themselves every day. And I know we say that the scale can be your enemy, but what weighing yourself every day means, whether it's weighing yourself or measuring your waistline, doing something that says, in the morning, my mindset is about succeeding. And my mindset is about making choices that are going to help me succeed. So do something that gets you on track with that. Second, they have some way of working out at home. So it's very easy to skip a workout when you got to drive 10 minutes to it and you can't find parking and you know the locker room's going to be gross and you know that guy's going to try to pick you up or the machine's going to be sweaty or you don't have cool, you're still overweight and you don't want to be seen by that girl who looks at you and you want her to look back and whatever. So you work out at home. So that's why you have something at home and you do your workout at home. And the third thing is they eat breakfast. You want to lose 30 pounds and keep it off? Apparently the statistics show those are the three things. You got to eat breakfast, and that's why I hear about people who say, I got Shakeology stacked up. I got bags of Shakeology. The only possible way you could have bags of Shakeology is if you're not drinking Shakeology. I go through Shakeology like crazy because some days, I always have my Shakeology for breakfast. But some days I don't have time to make my salad that I try to force down for lunch, so I'll have a bowl of cereal. But I don't want just a bowl of cereal. I don't want just the grains or the protein that I get. I'll sprinkle some Shakeology on that so I get some benefits of the greens in there as well. So I actually go through it faster than a month. So if you're stacking up Shakeology, that means you're not using it the way it needs to be used. So if you're not losing weight physically, now look, there could always be some hormonal or doctor things that I can't know about, but I will say that if you struggle with it, there's a behavior. It can be those cocktails that you don't think are that bad for you that get in the way, or those little candies, or I know the habit. Your kid doesn't finish his mac and cheese, but it feels like he finished his mac and cheese if you have 5 bites of it before you put it down, put it in the trash, right? Because it's like, well, he kind of ate it because I had some of it. Okay, now you throw it away. Like the head game is like, well, it wasn't really my food, so it doesn't have any calories. Or somebody puts French fries on there. I didn't order them, so it doesn't have any calories. Like it's the calorie effect. So you got to look at what's going into your mouth, and if it's staying on your body, if the fat's staying on your body, it's probably got more to do with the choices that you're making going in, things that you think aren't dangerous, that have refined sugar or are heavy in saturated fats, chips, all this stuff. My brother just went through this. Dave, sorry if you're online, I'm gonna out you, but he was putting on a few pounds, and then they just stopped buying chips. The simple act of they stopped buying chips, and he lost like 4 or 5 pounds quickly. So you just got to make those hard choices, and those choices will serve you in the long term.
That's great. Shakeology going completely vegan or just
No.
one vegan option?
We're going to have, we will continue to offer the whey version of Shakeology as long as there's demand for it. And we will have additional flavors of vegan as they're created. But right now we're focusing on tropical vegan. So
Perfect.
That's the only change that's official.
Have you considered expanding Beachbody to other states so that lots of different people could work with Beachbody?
Well, we do. We have offices we have fulfillment in Ohio, in Reno, I think. We're going to soon have it in Atlanta, which means that we'll ship faster to the Southeast. We have an office in New York, Utah, El Segundo, and Santa Monica. And we got a little office in Tijuana, customer service.
Cool. Do you have any special advice for coaches who would like to expand their clientele beyond the people they already know?
Yeah. Okay. Advice for coaches who want to expand beyond the people they know. Oh my gosh. Well, I believe in the back office there's a thing called what do we call it? It's called the memory minder, the memory finder, the memory tickler. I know somebody's going to say it right there. It's the memory jogger. I think it's called the memory jogger. And it's like a list, an alphabetical list, memory jogger, of all the things: acupuncturist, accountant, anesthesiologist, aerobics instructor, alcohol friend. I don't know. So all the A's I could think of. So you go through that list and you're like, oh my God, I didn't think of my accountant. I didn't think of my accountant's assistant. I didn't think of my bookkeeper. So you go through your memory. You know so many more people than you even know. And here's the great part. They know so many more people than you know. So until you go through that list and get all the way to zookeeper, you still haven't covered everybody that you know. But there's two things that should happen when you talk to somebody. Let's say you call your accountant and you say, hey, I'm starting a Beachbody Challenge group. You've said you wanted that. You're always smoking before April 15th. You're just a chain smoker. Now it's time to get you healthy. Let's see if we can break that habit and install new habits. And two things can happen out of that conversation. One, your accountant will say, great, I'd like to do a Beachbody Challenge. What's it take? And you say, you need to do the full thing. You get a Beachbody Challenge pack, and that involves these three things. Shakeology, because I want you to eat better. I want you to feed your body better while you go through this program. A fitness program, and 30-day trial in the club. Those are the three things that you're going to get, and you got to believe that it's worth it and that it's meaningful. So he might say, or he or she might say, that sounds great, I'm in. Or they might say, not for me right now, please don't pressure me. If they say, not right now, it's not for me, please don't pressure me, you don't pressure them. You say, that's totally okay. I'm available to you when you're ready. But do you know anybody else who might be interested in losing weight or who might be looking for an additional way to earn some extra income, because I'm also trying to add coaches to my team? When you say that, your goal is to get 1 or 2 new leads from that person. And this has to be linear like this. You have to keep this in mind when you talk to people, because then you call that person. So let's say your accountant says, yeah, my kid's teacher wants to lose some weight, was asking me if I knew anything. That's a good idea. So can I use your name when I call your kid's teacher? Sure you can. You get an email, you get a phone number, blah, 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 and you call and say, hey, my accountant said you want to lose weight. I'm starting a Beachbody Challenge. I have 4 positions left in it. And then, see what I'm saying? So every conversation. Now, let's say that the accountant said, great, I'd love to do the Beachbody Challenge with you, right? If he says, I want to do the Beachbody Challenge with you, same exact response. Awesome. Well, I'm going to put 3 or 4 other people in this challenge group. Rather than me put all the people in our challenge group together, do you know a couple of people who would like to do this with us? And from what I've heard, Tommy Migrant, Josh Spencer, I think, Mike Ryan have said that they're getting people who are building their own groups, basically, and doing some of the heavy lifting before they even become coaches. And then they start to experience that, oh my gosh, I could be a coach, and look at that, that'd be awesome. So that's what you do. You never want to let a conversation be a dead end. Some of them will be dead ends anyway. But as long as you approach it from the perspective of not what can I get from you, what can I sell to you, but how can I help you? And if I can't help you right now, I'm still available to you. And do you know anybody else who would like help? Because I'm a Beachbody coach, and I like to support people and help them achieve their goals to lead healthy, fulfilling lives. That's what I do as a coach. Do you charge for that? No, I don't charge for that. They buy from my store, and I get a commission, but then I support them along the way for free. That is a huge deal. That's how you expand your business.
I just have to read you a comment from Mark Payne. Okay, I'm now going to sign up as a coach because you have a great CEO. Look at you.
Score! This chat is over. We got him. That is really nice to hear.
About 50 people have agreed how amazing you are.
Oh, wow. My
Look
gosh.
at you.
This is crazy. All right, let's do one more, and then I'm actually going to do some of the things I promised to do.
Is there any possibility of other programs being added to the challenge packs?
Yes, absolutely. That's an easy one. I'll give you 2.
Okay.
Yeah, we want every program to be in the challenge packs. Right now, Rev Abs and Chalene Extreme, the way they're priced, don't fit into a challenge pack configuration, but we're working on that so that anything that somebody would want would be in the pack formation. So that it's I was reading about Macintosh or Apple rather, and how they gave distinction to themselves against the entire PC industry. And one of the things that they did was they made it all plug and play, right? You buy a Mac, you plug it into the wall, you plug the internet in, and boom, you're good to go. Versus other things, you got to hook this and the monitor and just all these and everything. And that's the way we look at the challenge packs. It's plug and play. If somebody says to you, I want to lose weight, I want to feel better, challenge pack. It's all right there. Your job as a coach is to help them set that start date and keep them accountable day by day. So yes, we will create more challenge packs. One more. The last question of the day.
Last question of the day.
Personal one. No, you whatever it is. Whatever's appropriate.
See if anyone comes up with a personal one quickly. Nope. All right. Is there an option of customers being given the option of payments when buying products from a coach?
Yes. We absolutely want to put payment plans into the Team Beachbody configuration. This is a little bit of a long-winded answer, or I'll give you more information than you want. Okay, so here's the Beachbody platform. It's called Oracle. It sits on an Oracle platform. And over here is the Team Beachbody platform. As you can tell, when you go through the Beachbody shopping cart, it's a very different experience than the Team Beachbody shopping cart. That's because they sit on different platforms, and they had to, because this platform, can you see my hand in there? Mm-hmm. This platform had to have all that extra stuff in terms of the comp plan and keeping track of coaches and who they're assigned to. This platform was never set up for that. Now, this platform never was set up to be able to handle multi-payments. So it doesn't exist in here. So it has to be built in there. But that is expensive, time-consuming stuff. And there's been so many things. Like, for instance, right now, we want to work on making the Beachbody Challenge Pack ordering process simpler for people. So, we want other payment options to be available for people. We are trying to make these two sides operate more like each other, and quite frankly, for these two sides to recognize who's in this database and who's in this database, so that we get less of, we do understand that there can be an issue out there that somebody who you think is going to order on the Team Beachbody side actually ends up ordering on the Beachbody side, and we want to make it so that the Beachbody side goes, that's Jimmy's customer, or that's Janelle's customer. Make sure they get credit over here. So that's all systematic stuff, systems stuff. Our biggest hiring at this company has been in technology, and probably I bet you 50% of the hiring that we've done is to build out technology. And so we want to give that off. We want to give those options to people. It's just not easy because we don't own the platform. We don't own the technology on which Team Beachbody sits. So we work with an outside vendor, and we got to get all that done in over the course of time with all the priorities that we have.
We can close it with a comment,
okay.
Which was, this was so awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Can't wait until you do it again.
All right. And any thumbs down? Can I get any thumbs down? This guy's a total drag.
One.
Who does his hair? That's awful.
Thank you so much. You look great. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. Thank you for answering my question.
You guys, what did we get up to? What did we peak out at?
Almost 1,500.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty good. I'm quite proud of that. 1,500 people.
Indeed.
Wow. That's pretty cool. Now, I wonder how long do you think it would take us to get down to 1,000 if I just had a staring contest? If I just sat here and didn't give any information but just stared at people.
Going down slowly.
How weird do you think they would think I was? That guy who decided to be a coach would be like, no, this guy's a little too weird. I was impressed with him until he just started talking to himself. All right, you guys. I'm going to sign off and get back to work. I'll see you on Twitter. I'll see you on Facebook. Please get your teams on Twitter. I like to talk to as many coaches as possible on there. I follow everybody who pre-orders P90X2. The window's closing for P90X2. If you want to get it as a gift for somebody or get it for yourself and pre-order and get free shipping, you got to get your P90X pre-order in now. I hope you enjoy the P90X app and get those Beachbody Challenge groups going. I want to hear about them. Post to my Facebook page. It's Carl Daikeler CEO, facebook.com/Carl Daikeler CEO. And I want to hear about your challenge group. I want to know how they're doing. I'm counting on you guys. Get groups of 5. Don't get groups of 10. Don't get groups of 15. Get groups of 5. If you have more than 5, start another group. And let's get some people healthy and fit. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. And thanks for having me on, guys. We'll do this again soon.
Thank you.
Dig it. All right.